And
hello and welcome to World Sand Project. I'm the magical sand princess, Shelley Carney. Anything else?
I was expecting something like and.
Oh, and life coach to the rich and famous.
There we go.
And all kinds of other things. Would you like to know?
Wouldn't you like to? What other things? And I'm Administrative Assistant to the Magical Sand Princess. My name is Toby Younis. I'll be your host and moderator today. And we've got another sample. I won't call this beautiful. I'd call it rough. You know, it's kind of a rough mountain sample. But it's got a lot of interesting objects in it, including we're going to get to take a look at some sapphires, and we're going to take a look at our first gold flakes in a sample. Ooh. So stay with us. So yeah, we have a really interesting sample, but I want to do a couple of things before we start up. Well, I need to do housekeeping.
Housekeeping, you want towels?
Of course, you want towels. Importante when you're looking for sand. Make sure you like our video. YouTube in the Magical Sand Princess, like it when you like our video. Share it with your family, your friends, your neighbors, your business associates, and the entirety of your social network so that we can
grow the channel.
And finally, if you're not already a subscriber, this would be the ideal time to subscribe. You know why? Because you get to see her twice a week.
Right.
And when you see that notifications bell, bang down on the notifications bell, and that way every time we start a live stream, you'll be immediately informed and
in the know.
Because there is nothing better in life than being in the know. I just realized I hadn't set up my pictures here.
Pictures.
So it would be
And today we'll be reading some emails.
Actually, why don't you do that for me?
Alrighty. Oh, yes. All right. So let's start with an email from Mike of Crave Creative.
Crave Creative, right.
And the title is Pocket Field Notes App. Toby, the Pocket Field Notes app is now in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, and the Amazon App Store. Woohoo! By default, I have it create a World Sand Project folder. Notes emailed from World Sand Project folder will automatically use the worldsandproject@gmail.com email address. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. You may have to explain it further.
I will.
Update. Do you want to reread that?
Oh,
too?
That was the same thing, right?
No. That's, he was
Oh, he
close
wrote
to
that
getting-
before.
Oh, okay.
This. So that's okay. So anyway, what I've done, Mike runs Crave Creative, and he had an application for use on the Fen treasure hunt. And I really liked the application, so I contacted him and asked him if he'd be interested in developing an application that not only could be used by people doing sand collection, but anybody making field notes, geologists, surveyors, et cetera, et cetera. And he thought it was a good idea. So literally, I think our last conversation was about 2 weeks ago. So he's developed this in the last 2 weeks. I haven't downloaded it. I just got this email saying it was available about an hour before the show, and we're always busy before the show starts. But that's kind of the front page. He's called it Pocket Field Notes. You can make project folders for any project. Now, he does have a default one for World Sand Project. That's what I asked him if he would do. Then it goes to the project notes, and you can start making project notes, collect pictures, latitude, longitude, elevation, date, time, add pics. You can email it out.
So can you take a picture from the app and it just goes in there, or do you have to take
the picture,
find it off your phone?
Yeah, you take the picture and then you incorporate it into the folder. But it takes all the metadata from the picture and it incorporates it into that. So I'm going to download it this evening. I'm going to practice with it between now and this weekend, because this weekend I'm going to be in Las Vegas for a poker tournament, but I'm going to use Sunday to go out and collect some sand samples from the area. There's some place called Red Red Sand Park. And so I'm really interested in seeing that. I'll take this and I'll do a test drive with the Pocket Notes, and I'll have a full report for you that I'll probably post to the World Sand channel. But I think the folks on A Gypsy's Kiss, our Fen treasure hunt channel, will also be interested in this. So keep an eye out for it. Like I said, I'll have the opportunity to test everything out, and I'll have a full report for you next week. Okay? So, Mike, thanks for that. You did a great
you
job.
Don't want to show everybody
And-
his email address.
Pardon me? Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry.
Too late.
Too late.
Full frame.
Okay. So, Mike, thank you very much for that. I appreciate the effort that you put into getting this accomplished so quickly, and I'm really impressed with your work, and I'm looking forward to the test drive this weekend to see how it works out, because, I mean, I gave him the specifications. I kind of wrote him the specifications, and I asked him, is it doable? And he said, sure. And we worked out a deal, and he's done it. And more importantly, it could have been a world. When I got the idea, I thought it was going to be very much oriented towards the World Sand Project. Mm-hmm. And then he's the one that said, "No, I'll bet you there's a lot of others." So I'll be able to promote it here. I'll be able to promote it on AGK. I'll be able to promote it on my Reddit groups in geology and rock hounding. And I'm going to start a sand group over there as well, but I have to have 30 days.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
What's it called?
It's called Pocket Field Notes, and you can find it on the Apple Store,
Pocket
Google,
Field Notes.
Google Play, and the Amazon App Store. See if you can find it on there. Just go to your Apple Store. And it's produced by cravecreative.com. And, so we can go there. Hang on.
Pocket Field Notes.
cravecreative.com
Pocket.
/
Oops, that says picket. Try that again.
/ Pocket Field Notes.
Field Notes. And search.
Am I spelling something wrong? Cravecreative.com / do I need the HTTP? Probably.
Maybe. There it is. $1.99. Take and organize field notes. So you can see it there.
Oh, cool. Wow. What am I doing wrong?
There's no www.
Sorry, guys. I just wanted to share this with you.
So even if you don't buy it, just go there and give it 5 stars.
Okay, so I'm doing something wrong with the page. But like he said, Shelley was able to find it on her iOS app. I'll download it this evening, play with it over the weekend, and have a review for you and the folks on AGK, because I think the Fen treasure hunters could find it useful as well.
Maybe you don't get to rate it until you buy it. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got to buy it. Buy it and I'll pay you back. How much is it? You said it's $1.99?
$1.99.
Yeah.
You buy it and then you
Okay,
can both
all
use
right,
it.
okay.
Because I'm your friend.
You're your sand buddy. Okay,
Share.
so let's head over to our pictures today. That would be WSP0024.
24. We're already on show
Yeah.
24.
Yep. How cool is that? Who'd have thought? We
We're
need
just
some more
going to town
subscribers.
on this.
Photos.
Alder Gulch.
Alder Gulch. So here's what's cool about Alder Gulch. Alder Gulch.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it is hard to say. So let me go over to the window shot and we'll take it from there. But I wanted to tell you, so Alder Gulch is in Montana, and it is actually the result of tectonic activity that took place between 2.5 billion and 1.6 billion years ago and was refined around 200 million years ago. And what was happening is the tectonic plates were finalizing into the land masses during that period of time. And as a result of all the pressure, it formed this chain of mountains that we're about to see. But it was more than that. It was not only a chain of mountains, it is what was referred to as a Paleoproterozoic suture. And you have to look that up because I had to look that
Alder
up.
Gulch was hard to say.
Yeah. I had to look it up, but it has this beautiful and interesting geologic history that basically pushed these mountains up out of the landmass. And because of that, all these minerals came with it, minerals and gemstones. Well, they're all minerals, but they turn into gemstones. And they included not only gold and silver. Then in 1863, William Fairweather and a group of his friends were coming back from searching for gold, prospecting for gold.
His Fairweather friends?
Yeah, further northwest. And they were crossing a crow hunting ground. And the crows stopped them, and they were going to make trouble for them. And they said, okay, just get off our hunting ground. So they took a shortcut over the Bitterroot Mountains. They ended up in the Alder Gulch area, although at that time it was known as Ruby Creek and not known by many people. And so they camped there for the night. Being prospectors, they looked around. They said, well, this looks prospectable, I guess. I don't know. I've never prospected for gold, so I don't know what to look for. And sure enough, they found gold. They decided to keep it quiet amongst themselves. They went into the town of Virginia City the following day, and it got out. And so there was a mad rush up there. And here's what's cool about this. As all these miners were heading up there, they stopped, they had a meeting, and they made agreements on how all this was going to take place. And one of the agreements made was that the original finders would each get 2 claims apiece, and they would have first choice. And then anybody could file their claims after that. By the end of the year, there were 10,000 people along the gulch with all kinds of little towns along the way, all the way down to Virginia City, Montana. And within 3 years, they had taken $30 million worth of gold out of that area. They still look for gold. If you we'll look at it in the map. They're still searching for all kinds of minerals up there because it's the result of this tectonic effect that basically pushed these mountains up from the bottom of the ground, pushed them up. No volcanic. You won't see a lot of basalt in any of this. So there was not a lot of volcanic activity. It was all the result of tectonic activity, and it pushed all these beautiful minerals and gemstones, minerals, gold, all the way to sapphires, and pushed them up out of the ground. And so it's been a great mining area for years, for 200 years. So or I guess 150 years. So if you go to Wikipedia and look up Alder Gulch, it's got a really interesting story. 30 million was taken from then, with 10 million taken out the first year. Nowadays, except during summertime, the streets of Virginia City are usually quiet, and relatively few visitors find their way up to the 16-ton granite monument that marks the spot of the incredible discovery on May 26th. Except for our friend Mike Healy, who...
He's here.
He's in the room? Good,
Yeah.
Mike, we'll call you in a little... Actually, let's call him and get the story first. So, and then we'll go through the pictures and the sample. So, Mike, I'm going to call you as soon as my phone starts up here.
Wake up, phone.
Watch me do this without saying it out loud.
Yeah, that would be good.
All right. Mike, we're calling the number you gave me.
See if it rings. Is the phone working? There, it's ringing, so.
Zortman Garage Motel.
Hi, I was calling for Mike Healy.
Oh, you have the wrong number.
Oh, I am sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Excuse me. All right, Mike, either you wrote the number wrong or I wrote the number wrong. Do me a favor and send a text to 202-815-1171, and then I'll call you right back. So apparently the number in the email that you sent was incorrect unless you're staying at a hotel. let me see if he actually did that already. Let me see if I got one. Dun, 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 dun. Nope. Okay, Mike, send me a text message to 202.
Or a voice. Did you look at voicemails just in case?
I didn't. Let me check real quick. There are a couple. Nope, neither. So send me a text message, 202-815-1171, and I'll call you. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're looking at. So we're looking in what is referred to as North Central America. Wait a minute. Let me go back and get a better picture here. And here we are down in New Mexico. This is another couple of our samples. This is a Columbia River sample, and this was that sample from around south of Mission Bay. But we're up here in Montana, and it's near the border with Idaho, where the borders of Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana meet. It's in Madison County. And of course, Madison County was named after President Madison by the Lewis and Clark expedition. So they named a lot of things. The rivers up there are Jefferson, Madison, and Gallatin. And Jefferson was president. Madison was at the time Secretary of State, and Gallatin was or vice president, and Gallatin was Secretary of State. And that's how they got up there. So you can see this area right here. The yellow line represents highways, but they also parallel the county that it's in. If we go a little bit further south from there, we'll actually see Yellowstone, and we'll do that in a minute into the maps. This is what the Gulch area looks like. It's known as Alder Gulch. It's also known as Alder Creek, and in some cases, depending, it's referred to as Ruby Creek as well. So that's where the sample was collected. The sample. Let's see. I think I got my. Nope. No. I guess I could go back to that. Hang on. Let me go back to his email and make sure I copy the number down right, because you know me. Viejo. That's viejo.
We all make mistakes sometimes.
Okay. No? Oh, you know what that is? So he says he goes up there to work the claim. That is the number of the hotel. He didn't give me his number.
Oh.
Let me see. Oh, there it is.
Toby wrote down the wrong one.
Okay, hang on.
All right. So, be prepared, Mike, because this time for sure we're going to call you.
There it is.
Oh, he tried calling.
Yeah.
Well,
I had it.
phone was off. All right, now it's ringing, so we should be able to get in touch with Mike. And
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
Mike.
Hi, Toby.
It's Toby and Shelley. How are you doing? Sorry, I
Good.
ended up calling the hotel. The number for the hotel that has the
I
claim.
saw that. I heard that right at the end there.
Yeah.
I was trying to text you, and I couldn't even do it very good. So
All right, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
So let me go back to our pictures. And
Okay.
so what can you tell us about this location?
Okay, which one for the sapphires?
Well, both. Let's start with the sand.
Well, there are two.
I haven't mentioned
Okay.
the sapphires yet. So,
Okay, the sand. Yeah, you got the wrong place. The Zortman, Montana is kind of north central Montana,
yeah.
and that's not over by Virginia City. There's a different Alder Gulch. There's two different Alder Gulches.
Oh,
So the one by Zortman, you got a picture on the map, those coordinates.
okay. So
And
that's
that
the coordinates. Those are the coordinates you gave me.
Yeah, that's where the sand, that's where we got the sand.
Okay, hang on.
That's the Zortman mine up there.
Hang on just a second. 024 MAPS. Okay, so this is the coordinates that you sent me. So what
Okay,
is
and
that?
That is Alder Gulch. That's right by Zortman, Montana,
Yeah.
which is north central Montana. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, okay.
Um, Alder Gulch I don't know how to describe it, but there's hot water that came up out of the ground,
Yeah.
and it squeezed through the cracks in the rocks, and
Yeah.
it had the gold in it, and it precipitated. So what's left is a lot of cracks in the rocks that got gold in it,
Okay.
and there's different ways to mine it, but a lot of it was just getting. What we did was we just dug gravel out of that creek bed there. You see,
Yeah.
there's a big creek in there.
Yeah.
That's the Alder Gulch there,
Okay.
and there's a lot of gravel that came down tailings from their mine, which is further, up where all the. I don't know exactly where the mine is, but it's up there.
Well, there's
kinda
mines all
a
over
little
that area. You
northwest.
can just see them.
Yeah, the Zortman mine was a pretty big one, and
Uh-huh.
so the tailings came down all that creek bed there, and we just dug in the gravel there. Used what they call a high banker, which he just washes the gravel. You shovel it in there, and
Yeah.
then
Is there enough water to do that?
there's water in that creek
Yeah.
year round, pretty much. Yeah, it is.
And how much
This is
gold
where.
did you pull out of there?
Oh, not very much.
Yeah.
We didn't. The year we went up there, it was just there had been a flood, and it washed in a lot of loose overburden.
Yeah.
So we didn't get down to the real good gold. We got some little bit is all.
So
But
the material you sent me is sand grain sized. How did you come by that? What did you do to collect that?
yeah, that's what we used a high banker, which
Uh-huh.
is kind of a washer, like a sluice box with
Right.
a pump that pumps water to it. You shovel it in there, and then we ran it through what they call a classifier, a screen, a couple different sizes of screen. I think that was the smaller mesh, what I sent you.
I'm just
And
putting a sample high banker up. It may not be the one that you used. So,
there's a prospectors club here in town. It's just a GPAA, the Gold
Gold
Prospectors
Prospectors Association
Yeah,
of America.
it's called the Yellowstone Prospectors, and they have equipment that we borrowed. We borrowed their high banker, and we just went up there for a day and just basically dug one hole until we got tired of digging.
And
And it's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's 170 miles that one way up there, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a long day to drive up there and dig and then come home. And
Right.
it was a hot day. But yeah, that's something like a high banker, and it looks like a sluice box. And then
Yeah.
you shovel it in or use a bucket full and dump it in that top hopper there, and it just washes it down like a sluice box.
Mhm.
So get rid of most of the stuff, and you get rid of big rocks, and
And then the gold ideally is captured in the
hopefully you got
riffles.
some gold in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think I ever panned out that gold there, but the guy I went with told me that he said there was a pretty good amount of gold in there, but I didn't check it, and so that's that.
And then where did the sapphires come from?
Okay, now the sapphires came from a place over by Phillipsburg, Montana, a little a few miles west of Phillipsburg. There's a mountains there. It's called the Sapphire Mountains.
Yeah.
That's over in western Montana, and there's a mine there. It's called Gem Mountain Mine, a sapphire mine. And they've been around for a long time. And I want to say 1800s, they were shipping literally tons of sapphires to Switzerland, and they used them for the watch bearings. If you remember, they used to say on the watches like 17 jewels. Well,
Yeah.
those were sapphires from that mine. That was almost all of them came from right there.
Well, I have a story to tell you. I had an automatic watch that had all those, that had the bearings in them made from sapphires.
Yeah.
And I decided that the interior, I was using it for photography, and it was getting dirty. And so I thought I'd put it in the ultrasonic cleaner,
Uh-oh.
and it vibrated out. This ultrasonic cleaner vibrated out all the rubies, so that the bottom of the cleaner had all these rubies and sapphires down
Oh,
the
there
bottom.
was rubies, huh?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
they were probably not all watches. We had the Montana sapphires. I
Yeah.
think there was other places that shipped them too, but they shipped. I think it was like literally tons of sapphires they used to ship, and there's a lot of sapphires in there in that mine area. But most of it is, like I said, it's fractured.
yeah.
or cloudy. And when they talk about gem quality, that means you have to go through a lot of sapphires to find one that's a
Right.
real good gem quality.
Right.
And basically, we picked out some of the better ones, and from what we spent all day sifting. There's the shaker table you use. It's got 2 different screen levels on there, and then you put them kind of like in a gold pan, if you will. Flip them upside down, and the sapphires are there on
Settle on
top. You
top.
pick them
Right.
out. Yep,
I've
pick
seen
them
the
out with
process.
tweezers.
They do
And
diamond mining down in South America that way in Belize.
okay,
It's,
yeah. So we
using the
did
same
that,
thing.
and we dug all day, and I think it cost like $25 each to dig, and our arms were so tired I couldn't hardly hold the steering wheel on the way home.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take those sapphires, and for those of you that watch us on A Gypsy's Kiss, we're going to put them in the treasure chest, but I want you to see them today. So before I let you go, Mike, I wanted to give you the opportunity. Instead of making a photograph, you'll see this in about 15 or 20 seconds. Instead of making a photograph of the sand, I decided the photograph of the sapphires was really, really pretty. So I've made a print of that. And in addition to that, of course, I've made a pendant from the sand as well. So since you were very gracious and sent us this material, I want to give you the choice of either the picture or the pendant, and I will send those to you this weekend.
Well, I like your picture.
Can you see
I
it?
like your photography. Yeah, it looks really nice.
All right.
That's why I picked out some nice colored ones.
Yeah, no, they were
most
beautiful.
of them are kind of green colored, but
We're
I
gonna-
just kind of went through.
We're going to look at them under the microscope in just a few secs.
The pendant's nice too, but I like the picture, honestly.
Okay. Well, as I said, it's as you've heard me say this in the past, it's a 4x6 dye sublimation print, so it'll last a long, long time. I've put the description over on this side and my signature over on this side, and we'll pop that in the mail to you. It may not be till next Tuesday when I get back from Las Vegas, but I'll pop that into the mail, and that's our way of saying thank you for providing this sample to us.
Well, thank you. That's a nice picture, and I like that. And I think, I like the pendant too, but I don't know. I think the sapphires to me mean a little more.
Well, just make
So
a
it's
comment. I guess I can't do this. I was going to say make a comment on today's video, and you can win the pendant next week. So there's that. So this is the pendant that somebody will win next week if you make a comment below this video. So it's got a real pretty little blue after it's sapphire. The pendant has a little Swarovski crystal in it.
I think some of those sapphires I sent you are good enough to facet. I tried to pick, I separated them out that got the better ones.
Yeah.
And out of that little sack I had, I picked those out of there. And,
Yeah.
they're not, I have some other ones that were probably a little bit nicer. But I tried to make a couple nice ones in there, put a couple nice ones in there. And if somebody ever finds that, they can facet those.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe the person who wins the treasure can have somebody do that, because we're just going to put it in one of our sample bottles and put it in the treasure chest.
Great. Yeah, I didn't have a good enough sample bottle to send you. I thought about that, and
No,
I was kind of in a rush when I
Yeah.
sent those, and so
don't worry about it. It worked out fine.
well, that's great. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, I will put that in the mail sometime. Like I said, I'm going to be gone this weekend, and I'll package everything up that we give away this week on Tuesday, and it'll go out next week. But we'll give you that picture, and then of course we'll give away the pendant for next week
Great.
to somebody.
Okay, I got one more thing to say on
Sure.
that Zortman mine.
Yeah.
Every year, the GPA here, the club, has what they call their big dig up there on the Memorial Day weekend. There's 3 days, and they have it. The fellow that owns the claim gets his backhoe out and
Wow.
digs up a bunch of the dirt, and then they have like what they call a bucket line. Several of them. They got lots of times. There's 5 or 6 different high bankers running,
Yeah.
and people shovel. One guy shovels, and the next hands and buckets down the line, and so one group of people on one high banker, and then you split up all the concentrates at the end of the day or at the end of the shift.
And then you pan
You
them
work
out
like a
yourself.
half a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you work like a half a day each day. So you have 3 I don't know if it's 2 or 3. I think it's only 2 days that you do the actual digging, and then the third day they have like an auction, and they have a drawing. If there's any bigger pieces of gold, they keep those separate,
Yeah.
and then you draw a number, and whatever number you get, that's the piece of gold you get. If you're, some years they don't have enough gold to go around, and
Right.
lately they haven't been. But if this is free, anybody that wants to go up there, and if you like gold mining, there's like lots of times 100 people up there, and they're all friendly, love to talk about gold mining.
Well,
And,
send me some information, and I'll make sure we promote it for anybody that does want to go up there.
That was that website I gave
Oh,
you.
okay.
It had some. If you looked on that website I gave you,
Yeah.
There's a newsletter, and that's kind of like their big thing.
Yeah.
Their whole big thing about that club is to have that big dig every year,
Right.
Memorial Day weekend, and it's if you like gold panning and like to be around people that like that kind of people, it's just really fun. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but it's up this just. I don't know if you can see Google Earth or not. There's some hills and stuff around there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's kind of a pretty area. It really is, right in there.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at it here in just a minute. I was going to ask, the Beth Drive address is correct for you?
That's it, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll ship that out next week for you. All right, Mike, thank you for
Great.
calling in and providing so much information. We really appreciate it. Thank you for providing the sample, and enjoy the photograph. The sapphires just came out beautifully.
I sure will. Thank you. Thank you too, Shelley.
You're welcome.
We'll
Bye
talk
now.
to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Mike Healy provided us that sample today. So this is what the sample looks like in the sample bottle. It's very light colored, very little quartz. It was mostly felsic and feldspar, but this is what the sample looked like as I prepared it, processed it to show it to you today. And this is the small crucible of sapphires. And you can see they come in a variety of colors. This morning when I was taking a look at the sample, I saw another one, and I tried to dig it out, but it just buried itself in the sand. I couldn't even get a picture of it. So a lot of magnetite and a lot of magnetic, which you would expect in an area like this. And as you can see from the the wide angle shot, a lot of stones, a lot of conglomerates, a lot of stuff stuck together. We got a lot of, there was silt-sized objects that were stuck to the sand-sized objects. Closer up, it's a little bit better looking, but again, it's all felsic materials. You get occasionally the small, very, very little basalt in here, and the quartz would always look like this. There's very few quartz crystals. The quartz crystals that I did find looked more like this, very rough, not having the same clarity that we see with some of those when we see a beach sample. But the dark stones are mafic, the light stones are felsic, and they're just combinations. Occasionally you find some little odd quartz piece in there that was interesting, and you can see it right here. This was the only shot of that pink sapphire that I managed to get. So that's very similar to some of the ones that you're going to see, and you can see it has that very unusual break. It's conchoidal, they call it, and that's how you can recognize them as sapphires. A lot of light-colored stones. The quartz is more like quartzite. Very little in the way of transparent. So the question was, would we see any gold flakes? And what I had to do was basically take these tiny little crucibles, and I kept pouring them back and forth and then shaking them so that the gold, because it's heavier, would settle to the bottom. And then finally I poured it all off, and these gold flakes were stuck to the bottom of the crucible. So there is gold there. I'm sure Mike will be happy to know. And also you can start seeing the little tiny sapphires as well. So these are all gold flakes. In that small sample. That's what they call brown gold right there. And that's a sapphire right there. Brown gold, there is gold in this sample. This was the most dense. It had the sapphires here when they're rounded like that. You can expect quartz doesn't round like that out in the field, but lots of little tiny gold flakes from brown to the bright gold. So it's in there if you ever want to go back up. And this piece right here was as close as I could get to the translucent quartz. There's just more conglomerates and more felsic type stones in the sample. A little bit more gold. I was trying to, as I was trying to shake it out, it was getting more and more mixed up with the, here you can see those little tiny sapphires right here with that rounded shape up here. Then the feldspar, the felsic stones, but those are basically gold flakes right there. So you could find them. So this is a close-up. Well, actually, this isn't a close-up. This is a wide-angle shot of the sapphires. They come in different colors, but they're very recognizable because they tend to be smooth and rounded. And whenever they fracture, they don't have an even fracture. They don't have a straight line fracture. They have, like quartz, this conchoidal fracture, but they come in a variety of colors. So they really are beautiful. And like I said, I usually make a picture. I usually take the photograph of the sand, close-up photograph of the sand, and turn that into the photo print. But these were so good looking that I decided to make the picture of that. So real quickly again, we'll go to the maps, and you can see this area all around here. All of this area here is just filled with mines. They're still active in this area, mining companies and individual miners. There's the tailings settling ponds, and then that location. So all this is mining. There's going to be wash out of that. It'll go into the gulch just above Zortman. So it's a real interesting area, and it would be interesting to follow up with a GPAA for that event that they have, because who doesn't want to look for gold, you know? All right, let me switch over to the, we got a little time left, so let's switch over.
Do your giveaway.
Oh, okay. So this is the giveaway for today. While I'm setting this, no, that's not. This is the giveaway for today. So this is the giveaway, the red. So this is the giveaway.
Full screen.
Yeah. Okay, so this is today's giveaway. In order to qualify for this giveaway, you have to go to last Wednesday's show. That would be, what's today? The 12th, so that would be the 5th. February 5th, and make a comment below that. You have about 10 minutes to go and do that, okay? To get the sand pendant. And then this sand pendant, the one that comes from today's, the Alder Gulch, and there's probably some gold in that little pendant, gold flakes in there. We'll give that away next week, okay? So I'm going to put that back in the box so I don't confuse the two. All right, so let's take a look at the sample. I'm going to go over here, and that's kind of a wide angle shot. And again,
Go screen.
oh, sorry. Wide angle shot, very little quartz in comparison to what we've seen in the past. I'm going to zoom in so you can get a sense of the kind of material that we're looking at. And a lot of light colored rocks, occasionally a dark colored rock. The light colored are called felsic. The dark are called, I want to say mavic, but now I've got that in my head and I can't get it out.
Feldspar.
No, the dark are called because they have magnesium in them.
Oh.
Iron and magnesium.
Magsic.
Oh, now I can't remember. But that's what you see here. A lot of unprocessed feldspar, felsic in various colors. Felsic, you know, the light colored material. Occasionally, you'll see the quartzite like we do there. It is quartz, but it's not that translucent quartz that we often see when we're looking at beach sand. A lot of pretty colors, a lot of conglomerates, a lot of mixed colors. And occasionally, you'll get close enough to one to see the sapphires, the smaller sapphires. So in that yellow rock right there, if I focus in on it right there, the blue in there is actually sapphire. There's one of the few pieces of basalt. Now, there was volcanic activity north and west of here, so it could get down to that. But again, it's got a lot of different material in it. So I had a couple. The problem is all I have to do is move this an inch, and we lose, it buries itself. So there's some of the sapphires that you'll see. You know, they would grow out eventually if they had lived longer under the earth, under the pressure, and under heat. But the stones are all very varied in color.
Mafic.
Mafic, that's right. Mafic and felsic. Thank you, whoever.
M.A. Hammock. Mark Anthony.
Mark Anthony Hammock.
Oh, and Violet Mercury says she's going to send a sample tomorrow.
Oh, she said she collected one for us over the.
Make sure you're using enough postage.
Yeah, yeah. Check with your post office
We
to
were
get
supposed to make a correction on our video. Did you ever
Yeah,
do that?
I didn't. So if you look very closely here in this small stone, you'll see the small sapphire gemstones would have continued to grow out of there. So, but because they stop growing once they're out of the ground and not being heated and not under pressure.
Under pressure.
So under pressure. So that's the end of our little crucible, I think. There's a little of more mafic, maybe basaltic. And that's because it has iron and magnesium and it gets the dark colors from that.
Lake Chelan, Chelan,
Lake Chelan.
Chelan.
That's where she lives in that area, and promised that she would go get a sample. It's going to look. She's in Washington, and that Washington. A whole bunch of Washington is volcanic, so it's going to be dark like the samples that we got from the Columbia River from Lisa Smith. So a lot of varied things, a lot of conglomerates, because that's what that is, even though it's a sand grain sized object. So let me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to back out the microscope. I'm going to zoom out and back it up so I can show you these samples, because these sapphires are so big that they pretty much, you can't zoom in on them because you lose them. So those are the sapphires that Mike sent us, and they're just, I wish you could see them in real life, because as usual the camera, and actually it's this app, I've got to find a better app. The app doesn't do them justice. They're just beautiful in a variety of colors. The ones that look black are actually a very dark blue. And again, they come in a variety of colors, as you can see. And what we're going to do with this bottle, we're going to put this in a sample bottle, the same sample bottle that we put our sand in. And Shelley and I and the Kinzers, Brad and Sarah, are building a treasure chest with a bunch of things in it, with gold and other stuff. And we're going to hide that treasure chest this summer. And it'll have pendants, it'll have gemstones, it'll have
Silver ingots.
A gold ingot,
A $2 bill.
a $2 bill, my
A champagne cork.
yeah. So we're just putting a bunch of stuff in there, and Brad has a bunch of coins, and people are sending us
Although
things.
if we run out of space, we might take the cork out.
Yeah. People are sending us things on our show.
Shulan, says Lisa Smith. It's pronounced Shulan.
Oh, okay. Oh, she's from the same. She's from Washington
Shalon.
State as well.
Shalon, says
Shalon.
Tony Rusi.
Oh, okay.
Shalon.
I
Or
wonder-
Shalon.
Shalon? Shalon? Sounds very French.
Shalon or Shulon. Shalon,
So
Shalon.
I have a very
Yada,
short
yada,
amount of
yada,
time.
yada,
So
yada.
let me switch. So I wasn't real happy as usual, because, and I'm again, it's not the microscopes. It's this application that is just not as good as it could be, because it doesn't know what to do with colors. And this is
Shalon.
Shalon.
It's like shalom.
Shalom?
Like Shalon.
So this is under the polarizer. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull the polarizer out so we can just look at it under the close up under the microscope. So
Since there's no rainbow effect anyway.
yeah, there's none, because there's just not any of the.
It's very blue though.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this app is, well, the problem is it's not the app as much as it is the. As much as it is this camera that doesn't. See what happens if I do that. Ugh, that doesn't help, does it?
No. Not unless you're on the moon.
Yeah. So the camera, I
Man
use
in
a camera specifically designed for
We need to
microscopes.
give away, and then we need to move on to
Okay,
our next show.
all right.
So
We got to do that.
probably don't need to spend time on this since it's not very
It's not very
easy
pretty,
to
is
see
it?
anyway.
It ain't very pretty. But
Did you show them the sapphires?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we did that on the stereo microscope. Okay. But I wanted to find, how ugly is this?
Puyallup. See, my dad used to live in Puyallup, so I know how to say that one.
Okay, let me put these back real quick. And then let's go to full screen and let's do a giveaway. Okay, oops, that goes here.
All right, guys, you should have made your comment by now on last week's World Sand Project channel from last week.
Okay,
this is the sand from
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
From the one that Carter sent us.
And because it's Valentine's week, there's a little red crystal on the little tabby piece that goes with it. So that's kind of fun.
So let me get the link to that. So that would be World Sand Project, 22, Playa Santa Teresa. Mm-hmm. World Sand Project, Project 22, Playa Santa Teresa. This week, got to turn it. This week. Okay. So let me get that link. So I'm going to collect that link. Let me go back to window shot again. So we're going to get that link right there from that show. Make sure you go and make a comment. You still have about 30 seconds.
And then after you do that,
link.
make sure you come in on my show from last week, the
Yeah,
softer side, because
because
I'm
we're
giving
giving
away
away
something there too.
So now we're going to go to commentpicker.com. And we're going to go to YouTube Tools. And we're going to put that link in there to see how many people signed up. Beat it. Okay, let's see how many comments are. 8 comments. Wow. Good chance to win.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So we're giving away that you'll see in just a minute. Costa Rica sand pendant, all right? Let's see who wins. We'll redraw if it's a previous winner. Mel Rustad.
He won on my channel.
He won on your channel. He hasn't won on
Has
this
he
channel.
won on this channel?
No.
I think he won on a Gypsy's Kiss. Now,
But I just sent him something.
yeah, from our channel, my channel.
Oh, okay.
He just won the blue
That's
topaz
right. Okay.
necklace.
Mel, you
There
get
you
another
go.
pendant for your 16-year-old granddaughter. So this is the pendant from Costa Rica.
Now you've won on every channel.
You've won on every
Mel.
channel now. People are going to start thinking we have some kind of weird relationship.
So, hooray for Mel.
So,
Congratulations.
Mel,
A little applause.
I may or may have not saved your shipping address, so send me your shipping address to worldsandproject@gmail.com, and we'll get that out. And I'm not going to send them out on the weekend. So next week, another sand pendant, this one from Alder Gulch. What do we call it? Alder Gulch mining claim, the Alder Gulch mining claim. So there might even be some gold flakes in there because we found some in the samples. So might be some in there.
All right. We got
All right.
10 minutes to get over to our other channel.
All right.
So meet us over there. The softerside.live. We'll see you there. 10 minutes.
And
Thanks for being here, everyone, for sharing in the sand from Montana that Mike Healy sent us, and all the beautiful sapphires as well. And congratulations to Mel Rustad on winning the sand pendant. And I'll see you over on the softer side in a few minutes. And for World Sand Project, I'm Shelley Carney.
And I'm Toby Younis. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks to Mike Healy for this great sample, very different. And that was the first time we've seen gold in any of our samples. And of course, he sent along
You
those.
saw gold in my sample.
Oh, that's right, in the
From the
Arroyo.
Rio
That's right,
Grande.
from the Rio Grande.
Yeah, Arroyo.
So, and he sent us those beautiful sapphires, which we're going to put into our treasure chest. So, and then Mel, congratulations on your third win. So I think you're disqualified for a while here from winning anything. So,
But thanks for playing.
But thanks for playing.
Yeah.
So,
It helps to play. Can't win if you don't play.
so we'll see you on Friday afternoon with another sample.